Meeting of the Sonoma City Council, Monday, August 16th, 2021, 6 p.m. And I would like, let's see, I'd like to, convene and call to order, and I'd like to ask for a volunteer who is forced. If Sandra Lowe, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, as a volunteer, of course.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sandra. Okay, let's see. I think I have one thing to say. The bathroom lights do not work. Is that for men also?
Yeah.
Okay, so the bathroom lights don't work. If you have an iPhone, you can use that flashlight. I'm very sorry. We don't know how these things happen because we're not here to watch those things. So, okay. So I believe public comment process for Zoom attendance at meeting. That's happening this evening, right? Okay. So I would like to ask for a roll call, please.
Councilmember Dean?
Here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor Dean. Here.
Okay.
Councilmember Barnett?
Here.
Councilmember Felder?
Here.
Mayor Agramonte?
Here.
Thank you.
So I do not have a report out from closed session. We did not have one. At this point, I'd like to ask for an approval of the agenda. Could I have a motion?
I move to approve.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Dean?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Aye.
Councilmember Felder?
Yes.
Mayor Agramonte?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. At this point, we have comments from the public. At this time, we'll cross our fingers, right? At this time, members of the public may comment on any item not appearing on the agenda. It is recommended that you keep your comments to 3 minutes or less under state law unless otherwise permitted under the Ralph M. Brown Act. The merits of the matters presented under this item cannot be discussed or acted upon by the City Council at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public will be invited to make comments at the time the item comes up for council consideration. Upon being acknowledged by the mayor, please step to the podium and speak into the microphone. Begin by stating and spelling your name. Yeah.
Mark Marthaler, Sonoma, California. I'm here today to bring attention for the need of art preservation in Sonoma. Currently, there isn't any ordinance that is specifically designed to preserve our public artworks in Sonoma, and I think that on behalf of existing artworks, such as murals, sculptures, and other permanent installations, these artworks that are integrated into our cityscape have added greatly to the ambiance and culture of Sonoma and need protection from destruction or potential destruction or modification. Concerning murals, at present I am aware of only 3 murals on the plaza. One is the map on the wall of the Union Bank on Broadway. It has been there as long as I can remember, and the original artist is unknown to me. Another mural is painted on First Street East by Claudia Wager, leading to the shops at the Mercado, and another multimedia mural at El Paseo, which is also on First Street East. These are the only 3 murals Sonoma has that I'm aware of that are publicly, within the public view. and they do not enjoy protections from being removed or destroyed. All three of these murals have been there for over 25 years. The City of Sonoma has purview over architectural styles, signage, and even the color of doors on the plaza, and to have an ordinance which puts the interest of the culture of our town in place regarding existing artworks and more artworks to come in the future as Sonoma grows, it is a very good idea to do so. So in essence, again, I'm here to alert the City Council that part of what has been woven into our cultural fabric could be removed at any time unless they are protected. So I'd love to have the support of the City Council and, city officials and guidance on how to get something like this going, if it seems like a worthy thing to do.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have anyone else who would like to speak?
Paul Watts, WATTS. Good evening. I'm here tonight with some serious concerns about the decision to adopt the Broadway striping model known as Option B. B will have a dedicated bike lane next to the curb. I don't think many people are even aware of the radical change this new B striping mandate will do to traffic flow, parking your car, and pedestrian safety. I have walked from Napa Street to MacArthur and back to create an image in my mind's eye of the final B striping. I marked on the street with blue tape for a parking visualization. In my opinion, it is fraught with unintended consequences for the many tourists and drivers of Little Sonoma. The most obvious question is, how are drivers supposed to painlessly parallel park in the middle of Broadway? B shows a 2-foot curb gutter, a 6-foot bike lane, and a 4-foot buffer. Next is your parking space. Simply put, drivers will be pushed into the street 8 to 12 feet from the curb. I think most people find normal parallel parking very challenging. The right rear tire, however, usually touches a curb to the driver's relief. The new parking challenge for tourists and locals is to stop in the new single traffic lane, back up, and try to park over a painted target on the pavement. From McDonald to Napa, the B buffer zone for parking is listed as 3 feet wide. A car can't park in 3 feet. There is a potential loss of as many as 42 parking spaces. Drivers, after some pleasant wine tasting on the plaza, might even think a parked car on Broadway is actually in the traffic lane. The people of Sonoma spent a lot of time and energy in 2020 working with the council. People voted overwhelmingly to keep the striping as is, but to add a standard bike lane. We could use the $41,000 that is earmarked for this special striping for more pedestrian safety options and to extend the bike lane all the way down to Leveroni. Personally, I would opt to bring back diagonal parking. It would lessen the width of Broadway, and Sonoma could pick up some very much needed parking space lost on the plaza due to the new parklets. In closing, B sounds good on paper, but is not suitable for Broadway. Striping will be etched on the new pristine Broadway pavement for years and years to come. Simply use the striping voted on by the good people of Sonoma. Thank you.
Do I have anyone else who would like to approach the podium? I don't see anyone here. Do we have any comments from the public on Zoom?
We'll give Latanya just a moment. She is in virtual world today, so she will let us know. I don't see anybody raising their hand, Mayor Agramonte.
Okay, so I'm going to close, don't even know if I opened it. Close the public comment. I'm back to the city council. So we thank you. I have all these papers to go by here. I'd like to ask I think if there's anything, the city attorney or our city manager have anything that you heard here that you would like to answer, I'd give you that time.
Madam Mayor and Council, I can actually respond to the art ordinance, art comments. We do have a fairly robust art policy, public art policy at the city. It was done in 2009, and I don't know, maybe you remember it within this last year, it was part of the temporary art approval. The council actually directed the CFAC to work on the temporary art portion and to the bigger policy. So that's something that they are going to be looking at. It may be a little bit more than what they alone can tackle, but we are looking at that in the next year.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So at this point, I think I'm going on to meeting dedications. And I don't know if anyone else has a meeting dedication. I am dedicating this evening to Jeffrey J. Stur, S-T-U-H-R. He passed away March 21st, 2021 at the age of 67. I took my glasses off because they steam up. Jeff was born in San Francisco and grew up in the same district my husband did, Sunset, and also attended Lincoln High School along with my husband. And when Jeff was 25, he was involved in a very serious car accident that caused his extended serious injuries and required an extended recovery period. Jeff was determined to get back to life, not mobile in his wheelchair. Jeff also, not only mobile in his wheelchair, Jeff also was used to traveling, and he went to limitless destinations. He married his wife, Lynn, and they moved here to Sonoma. Jeff was also, because of his disability, Jeff played a very important role here in Sonoma. It's interesting, ordinary people that do extraordinary things, and I think Jeff is one of those. Jeff also advised many local businesses on how to provide affordable and safe access for those with physical challenges. For years, Jeff organized a local barrier awareness day in which community members would spend a day in a wheelchair pushing around town, shopping and experiencing the challenges associated with his life in a wheelchair. So he was a community volunteer known for his fundraising prowess. He raised funds for El Nido Teen Center, Valley of the Moon Hospice Boys and Girls Club, and of course he hit the road. Jack, he was part of that, and various other nonprofits. I would like to say he is survived by his wife of 39 years, Lynn Sherrard Stur, his son Bruce, brother Philip Stur, wife Jeannie, nephew Tom Stur, wife Michelle, niece Tracy Bromet, husband Matt, and their girls Ellie and Elsie, brother Christopher Stur and his family, and many cousins and godchildren. So I would like to dedicate this individual. We're an ordinary person that did ordinary things here for the city of Sonoma, Jeffrey J. Stur. Does anyone else have nothing? No? Okay, thank you. And I think we were supposed to have our CEO from the hospital here this evening. Was that amended?
He's on Zoom.
Oh, on Zoom?
Right. But
Wow,
can we hear
okay.
him?
I better put my glasses on.
You should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
He's a panelist, so yeah, the data can.
Okay.
So at this point,
Mayor Agramonte and council members, tonight I'm pleased to introduce John Henley, who is on Zoom with us.
yes, thank you.
And I'll just do a short introduction. Mr. Henley was selected to serve as President and Chief Executive Officer of Sonoma Valley Hospital on March 5th, 2021 by the Sonoma Valley Healthcare District Board. He replaced Kelly Mather, who left the position at the end of 2020. Mr. Henley is a
See myself.
seasoned, I'm echoing.
Good afternoon.
I'm just going to let you introduce yourself. I had a lovely speech that I had prepared, but you can go ahead. I don't think you can hear us. No.
They should be able to hear now.
Mr. Henley, can you hear us? Can you tell him to go ahead? Technical difficulties.
I'm so annoyed.
Can he see you? Just chat to him. Tell him to go ahead.
I'm working.
Apologies. They can't hear what we're saying, so I'm just going to go on with the introduction, and then when he's speaking, he can. So Mr. Henley is a seasoned executive who brings broad experience leading hospitals in a variety of environments. Most recently, he served as CEO of St. Louis Regional Hospital in Gilroy, California, a 93-bed hospital with a 400-person staff. His prior experience includes executive positions with Presence Health, an 11-hospital system in Chicago, Illinois, and with St. Anthony Hospital, also in Chicago. Prior to that, he held administrative positions with the University of Chicago Hospitals. And I think we're ready to go. Mr. Henley?
If you guys want to turn on your mic and your TVs, you should see him. Okay, if you have your things on, you'll see him. Okay. I just asked him to unmute. There it goes.
Good evening. I cannot tell. Can we hear the mayor? Okay. Thank you. It sounds like we had audio difficulties. Would you like me to introduce myself?
Yes, please.
I'm coming in cold. I don't know what's happened because we can't hear it. We haven't been able to hear anything. But my name is John Henley. I'm, as some of you are aware, I'm the new CEO at the hospital, Sonoma Valley Hospital. I'm very excited to be joining the team. As you may know, you've got a great hospital team. During the interview process, I spent some time both interviewing the staff at the hospital and the medical staff, and the cohesion is really good. It's not to say in any hospital you've got your challenges, because every day is different, but there's a strong leadership group and a strong medical staff supporting the hospital. I'm excited to be here. Happy to answer questions, but I'll give you the 60-second spiel. I've been around about 4 months now. The hospital is doing well. It's impacted, like we all are, from COVID. We saw some significant drops during COVID. We rebounded this summer, and now we may be regressing a little bit. But the organization is strong. The financials are remarkably strong for a small hospital. While the organization is not what I would say at break even, they do a very good job of being fiscally responsible, which is commendable and hard to do in a small hospital. You are challenged with the same cost structure as most hospitals, and yet you're running smaller volumes through it, which can make it challenging. I don't want to spend too much time on the future, other than to say I will be meeting with the district board over the next few months to revise, renovate the 5-year plan, so we can continue to move on and develop the hospital as the market changes and as we all change. We have needs, and obviously COVID's changed our needs, but we will stay on top of that and have it. So with that, I don't know if there are any questions from the council.
I have a question. Oh, is that me? Mr. Hennelly, this is Madeline Agramonte. Can he hear me?
Sonoma TV just went muted. We could hear, I have a question, and then that was it.
Oh, maybe. Okay, is that me?
There we go.
Yay, great for me. So I served on the hospital board many, many years ago. I tell people whenever we talk about the hospital, did you ever think you would have a hospital in this small city like this? I'm very proud to have been associated with it. My question is you know the trailer that you have outside, is that a CAT scan, Mr. Hennelly? I can't remember.
That's an MRI.
Oh, MRI. So it's going inside with the new digital services, or?
It will go inside once the new MRI is purchased and installed, which is a good 18 months from now.
Oh, all right.
Pre-COVID, it should have already been in now, but we've had all sorts of delays.
It could have been sitting somewhere in the Suez Canal or something, being delivered.
Interestingly, they haven't even started manufacturing it yet.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yep.
I just think
We will call them and tell them when we're ready.
Oh, that's great. I think the only problem I ever had being on that board was OSHPD. Is that the name of the is that the name of this?
Yep, the oversight. Mhm.
Yes, nobody understands it. They make money telling you what you've done wrong. I love that. Why can't I have a company like that? So thank you so much. I think we're going to be meeting on Zoom soon. So I appreciate just being able to speak with you, and welcome again.
Thank you very much.
Is anyone else? No? Oh, I guess we're good, John. Thank you.
All right.
Do you have something?
Not on this. I was just going to, we have several members of the public are asking to reopen public comment because they couldn't hear.
Oh, okay.
They can hear now.
You can now? So would you like John to stay on? No. No. John, thank you so much. We have public comment back on, so don't let anybody run into you when you leave. Thank you, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So, well, I'm going to open the public comment for people who didn't get the opportunity. Thank you.
Hi, was I just given permission?
Yay.
Yes, you are.
Okay, hi. I'm Anna Sweever with the Sonoma County Bicycle Coalition, and I just wanted to commend the council on your request to Caltrans to restripe Broadway with the protected bike lanes, decreased auto lanes, and shorter pedestrian crossing distances. I know you've received a lot of pushback regarding this decision, and I would like to share with you and with the public some of the traffic research that supports that decision. A team of transportation engineering researchers from Colorado studied 12 cities over 13 years. Those cities included Portland, Seattle, and San Francisco, as well as others. As each city built more bike infrastructure, they experienced an increase in cycling. I have heard some opponents of the change say, well, why do we need more bike lanes? I never see people riding on that street. If you build it, they will come. People don't ride where they don't feel safe. And so when you make the street safer, more people will ride. I've also seen some concerns that the new configuration would somehow be more dangerous. This is also not supported by the research. This study concluded that having protected bike lanes in the city resulted in an average 44% fewer deaths and 50% fewer serious injuries than average. That was a reduction in crashes, deaths, and injuries, not just for cyclists and pedestrians, but for all users of the road. When you make the road safer for the most vulnerable users, it actually makes things safer for everyone on the road. When Berkeley put protected bike lanes on Telegraph, the number of people walking and cycling increased dramatically. Speeding was reduced, but interestingly enough, congestion did not increase. What did increase was retail sales on that block. There was a 9% increase in retail sales. More people on foot, more people on bike means more people can see all the pretty things in the store windows and all the delicious items on the restaurant menus. Others have asked, what's wrong with regular painted bike lanes? Well, the research has found that painted bike lanes provide no improvement on road safety. There was also some argument that Broadway was intended to be a grand boulevard entrance to the town, and I have to tell you, when I come into town from the south at Broadway, it just looks big and empty and dead. What makes the street feel alive are people. So making these changes is really creating a possibility to make Broadway come alive again. There's always going to be people who resist change, and those who are opposed to a project are often the loudest. But for the health, safety, and quality of life for current and future residents and visitors to Sonoma, I encourage you to stand strong and don't change your minds on this again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave Ransom, unmute yourself, please.
Yep, I've done. Well, I'm here about climate change. And I'm a member of the Sonoma Valley Housing Group. I'm not speaking for the housing group, and I go to church in Sonoma. When I was a little boy between the ages of 1 and 5, our country was in total war. The federal government ordered American industry, Ford, GM, the aircraft builders, the shipyards, to convert to war production. All Americans were told how much gas they could have for their cars. Food was rationed. Every male American of a certain age could be called up. That was to defeat fascist aggression. Everybody agreed and pulled together, and it worked. Today, we are told we face an even greater threat, climate change, in something like the same time frame. And what is government doing? Essentially nothing. So I would like to ask the City Council to stand us up on our back legs and get us moving. What can Sonoma do? It can provide housing, build it, requisition it if necessary, so that the people who work in the city can live in the city, so that they won't have to burn gas driving in from Vallejo or Lake County, or as some do from the Central Valley. Where would you get the authority to do that? If the future of the human race is at stake, this is legally a public health emergency. But to make it happen, the first thing you have to do is to recognize it as a real life-threatening emergency. Tell the people, tell the kids, get the board of supervisors on board, get the people on your side, then act. And by the way, the kids already know that their lives are threatened, that they are very likely not to grow up as their parents expect them to do, that it's possible they will not grow up at all. For our kids, if not for ourselves, we have to show them we're better than that. Time to get moving. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ransom.
Shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Hi, Sonoma City Council. I'm Caitlin Cornwall. I'm a senior project manager at Sonoma Ecology Center, and I'm reading a public comment from Richard Dale, the executive director of Sonoma Ecology Center, and David Morrell, the board president of the Ecology Center. We at the Ecology Center urge the City Council to take a leadership role in this climate emergency. As is so clear around the world, as the land burns and the water dries up, we need to do our part here so that we leave a livable planet for the next generation. At the Ecology Center, we do our part. We have worked for decades to plant trees, sequester carbon, make land resilient to fire and flood, improve soil health, capture and conserve water, and teach others to do the same. Several years ago, the city passed 22 meaningful climate initiatives. Not enough has happened since then. We must take direct and aggressive action with the climate emergency unfolding here and globally. The big opportunity areas are in transportation and in building energy use. Strategies that need investment include all types of transit, lower cost housing so that local workers can live locally instead of driving long distances to get here, increasing building density and height, promoting more evergreen electricity accounts, requiring all electric buildings, and reducing the space given to parking. We ask the City Council to actually implement the city's climate emergency measures and to be a leader by example. Please meet and work with the Community Services and Environment Commission to take specific actions that energize our residents and our visitors to join in this vital effort. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Agramonte and members of the council. Tom Conlon here, speaking as an individual tonight, 18850 Robinson Road. I would hope that after public comment, we can get a recap of what's transpired at this purportedly public meeting before the audio signal was working for those of us who are doing our best to participate remotely and to stay healthy and to help others there to stay healthy because we're not there, adding to your in-person meeting. Who spoke? What actions, if any, were taken before the audio was available to us? I appreciate that. Also, I just note that my 85-year-old mother has been able to make Zoom work, and it's frankly an embarrassment that the city of Sonoma is still having difficulties with this over a year in. If you can't get this to work in a hybrid format, I strongly would urge you to go back to a Zoom-only format so that people who are remote can participate in the public process. I, too, am concerned about the climate crisis and our housing crisis, which has a climate nexus, as many realize. And I support some of the other comments that you're receiving in writing, as well as those read here publicly tonight. I am also concerned about the emergency we have to celebrate Mexican independence. I appreciate that the matter was put on the agenda for you tonight on urgent notice. However, it does really draw attention to the priorities of the city, that such a matter can be brought to your attention very quickly when climate action has been a repeated demand of members of the public, of members of your own Community Service and Environment Commission, and you have frankly been ignoring that commission and its recommendations for several years now. So I won't go on any longer in this public comment, but I do hope you will prioritize climate action at the city level. The city of Sonoma remains one of the highest trip generators in the county and is not doing its part to meet the countywide climate strategic vision. Thank you for your consideration of my comments.
Thank you, Tom.
Good evening, Mayor Agramonte, members of the City Council and City staff. My name is Fred Allebach, and I'm a member of the Sonoma Valley Housing Group, and I'm also the chair of the Community Services and Environment Commission. Recent events around the Mexican Independence Day show that the council can act fast and agendize public items quickly. We do have a bona fide climate emergency. The UN, the RCPA, the county, and the city have said so. The city's taking good actions, but for where we are, they aren't enough. To quote Greta Thunberg's recent comments, the gap between rhetoric and action has grown insupportable. I would like to ask the council to double down and agendize a public meeting on the climate emergency as soon as possible, and at your discretion if with the Community Services and Environment Commission. Let's just check in and take stock. Let's hear from everyone and recalibrate so that we in the city's orbit can feel we are doing our square best to address this emergency with all due attention and haste. This is merely a process ask. Step up, process, pay attention, and meet this moment in history with the purpose and resolve that it deserves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fred.
Hi, can you hear me? This is Sinjin.
Yes, we can.
Great, thank you very much. I just wanted to make a brief comment and express appreciation for the hard work and the thoughtful approach over the last several months that the council has made with regard to the Broadway multimodal restriping effort. It's really been interesting to watch council discuss this issue through a series of meetings, see the sort of the evolution of the thinking and the focus that the council was able to bring to bear on safety for residents, and I really appreciate that. And a quick note, I really wanted to extend appreciation to Colleen Ferguson and the staff for the incredible amount of work that they put behind the information that was provided to residents and the council, informing some pretty smart decision-making, in my opinion, focusing on safety. So with that, that's really all I've got to say. Again, I just want to express appreciation to Colleen Ferguson, the staff and council, for the thought and effort put behind the decision that they made in the last council meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ken, you can begin speaking at any time.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Agramonte and council and staff. Ken Brown, 1396 Lubeck Street, still here at the last house in city limits. I too am concerned about climate change. God knows we have enough problems in the world. And I'm a former member of the Environmental Commission and support Tom Conlon and Fred and the Ecology Center in their efforts. I want to share that my son Moses now is in Afghanistan, serving in the U.S. Army. I'm both proud and worried at the same time. I'd also like to speak about opening the first and second dispensary here in Sonoma. It's been a very long time, you know. I mean, I still have a sense of humor about it, but I'm losing it rapidly. And, you know, with compassion and kindness, I wish you all well.
Thank you, Ken.
That's all the hands we had raised for public comments, Mayor.
All right, I'm going to close the public comment section. And I am now on to, here I go. Okay, with glasses or without, I can't, let's see what we can do. 5.1, discussion, consideration, and possible action on whether the County of Sonoma should opt into the state's micro enterprise home kitchen operation, MACO, law, which would allow an individual to operate a small-scale restaurant, dine in or take out in their private residence, including within the Sonoma County limits, and direct staff as appropriate city manager. And now I turn it over to our planning director.
Good evening, Madam Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Great. Madam Mayor and council members, the county CAO has asked for an official position regarding whether they should opt in or opt out of a state law that provides the regulatory authority for home kitchen restaurant businesses in the county. Because the county is the health agency in the county, this would apply if they opt in or opt out to the county and to all of the jurisdictions within it, all cities. So the opt-in provision would give the County of Sonoma the ability to regulate these types of kitchens. In the staff report addendum, you'll see the regulations or the limitations, if you will, on the size, as far as number of employees, as far as their dollar amounts, their revenues throughout a year, and some limitations on the number of, as I said, employees, but also the type of employees that can work within these small kitchens. These would be allowed in all residential zones in our city. Staff has land use compatibility concerns related to over concentration, the total number, traffic, parking, deliveries, and certainly hours of operation. These would be requirements of the county, provisions of the county that they would have to regulate. At this point, staff recommends hearing from the county health department and the public, and then providing direction to the city manager so that information can be communicated to the county CEO. And I believe Christine from the county would be able to answer any questions you have regarding the provisions of the opt-in, opt-out regulations. This concludes staff's report, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. So if there are any, I have any questions from the city council regarding this?
I do.
Councilmember Barnett?
Is a representative from the county on Zoom here? Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll ask David this or the representative of the county. I'm, reading the letter from the county and also in the staff report, this allows dine-in restaurants in residential neighborhoods. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And it also allows for deliveries outside of the neighborhood.
Correct. But it also allows dine-in restaurants in residential neighborhoods.
Yes, up to, I believe, and I can be corrected, a total of 60 trips, visits, or whatever during a week, but only no more than 30 in any one day. Christina, did I get that correct?
That is correct. And no more than $50,000 of sales revenue in a year.
And the county would administer all the regulations, and that would sort of supersede our local city zoning authority?
Correct.
Correct.
All right, thank you.
I have a question. I look at it, it's in the name, it's a title. And the official name, so-called micro enterprise, home the kitchen operations. However, we also use so-called small size in the restaurant. In my idea, restaurant and kitchen, that is totally different. So can you explain a little bit more?
I'll take the first shot and hand it over to Christine, because clearly the city of Sonoma does not have its own health department. And how Councilmember Ding, that they regulate ADA access, the preparation of the food, the exhausting, fire apparatus, fire safety apparatus, that would not be something that the city would do. This would be under the county's tutelage.
All right, thank you.
And to add to that, what Sonoma County, we regulate what we consider to be a food facility. That can be anywhere from a temporary event, a mobile food facility, a restaurant, a market, and everything. The MICO, or Micro Enterprise Home Kitchen operation, is considered a type of food facility, but it does allow for some exemptions. So it allows for that home kitchen to have not have to have like all the sinks or all the hand wash facilities or the ADA compliance and ventilation and that. So it does have some exemptions built into it.
If I could just follow up to Madam Mayor onto what Christine said, should the county, after receiving all the information from the other cities, so to speak, and the county determines to opt out, that would then mean that all of what you have just said is transferred to the state. Is that correct for the authorizing government agency?
The way it works is a county can opt in or opt out. If the county opts in, the cities and all the jurisdictions come with us. If the county opts out, then that would be our stand, and then that program would not be available to anybody in the county. And then opting in, we can either do it by resolution or you can do it by ordinance. But it would not require each individual city to do an ordinance or resolution. It would be done just through the one entity.
Thank you, Bob.
I have a question concerning the method of determining whether the county opts in or opts out. How are you weighting the answer of the various cities to determine whether the majority want to be in or out?
So there was a letter that was sent from our CAO that went out to everybody asking for a response back. I believe the timeline on that was today. We have received some written responses. What I'll be doing is compiling those written responses into a board report, and we're looking to take that board report on September 14th, and then do an analysis from what we've heard from the cities and what we're hearing from community members, and put everything together, and then I'll be taking board direction on what my next steps would be.
Well, but does that mean that the city of Sonoma has equal weight to the city of Santa Rosa, or to Sebastopol, or to Petaluma, or?
All I'm doing is putting it out as a neutral for our board to look at and make a decision. That would be a question directly to our board.
So, this is Madeline. I'd like to ask a question. I see in this that I've read that there is a pilot program going on in San Mateo County. Have they reported out, and how long has that pilot program been going on?
They have not reported out yet. They are just getting ready to implement their program. They've had about 200 property owners that have been interested and are looking to be part of this pilot study. They did, back to what David was saying earlier about opting in or opting out, they did opt in, but they opted in as a pilot program.
Thank you. Does anyone have any other questions? Jack?
Do you have any existing data showing this kind of business or similar this kind of business? For example, food preparation at home and in our system, and how we can carry it out, and the health condition. And do you have any, the measurement or any data showing us? Because I know that this kind of business is existing, that is it's a gray area under the shadow.
There was somebody on the comment that just popped up saying they had some data that I saw.
Yes, if any in the data, and showing how many people, maybe somebody and the homeowner, they will report, and then it's, we want to prepare some food. Is okay, or if any license?
Yeah, so from an environmental health perspective, speaking with my colleagues across the state, most of these programs are still in their infancy. Sorry. They're just, Riverside's the one that's been doing this the longest. So we don't have a lot of data that's coming out of that. We do have cottage food, which has been implemented for several years, but cottage food limits the food coming from those home kitchens to non-potentially hazardous, so more like pastries and breads versus potentially hazardous foods, and serving full meals as would be in the micro enterprise. So our data is fairly limited, but we can extrapolate a little bit from what we've seen from our other counties.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any further comments or questions? I'm going to take this to the public, out to the public, and let's see what we have here. Thank you.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Peter Ruddick. I'm the Policy Director for the Cook Alliance. We are the sponsors of AB 626, the Micro Enterprise Home Kitchen Operations Law, and great proponents of home cooks around the state. San Mateo indeed has a pilot program which started accepting applications today. They are the 8th jurisdiction to opt in. Riverside was the first. Our last number I got of 133 active MECOs in Riverside. A few people have cooked and not renewed. They have been operating for 26 months now. Estimates are about 100,000 meals have been served by all those cooks. There have been no food safety issues there or in any of the other counties which have started. We have started a research project in Riverside to look for nuisance issues. We have found that there have been 2 that we can find, one dealing with a sign and one dealing with somebody putting a stand on the porch, both of which were immediately corrected. We know that there are an estimated 100,000 unpermitted cooks across the state of California, and without being regulated, inspected, or educated, they don't have a great deal of problems. They certainly have more problems per capita than the permitted cooks. We are obviously great boosters of this program. We are available to help cities and counties. We are talking to Supervisor Hopkins, and we are accessible to the city of Sonoma for any information that you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reddick. Anyone else with a question or comment?
We've got Fred Allebach.
Thank you so much. Why don't we go back to the planning director?
Mayor.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Thank you.
Am I unmuted? Hello?
Yes. Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
sorry. It's a kind of technological disconnect out here. I would support this if the city had the option to shut it down if it didn't seem to work out. I wouldn't opt in if, in some cases I'm against local control, but in this case I think local control is something that I would back, because I think this could end up as more high-end boutique dining. And this Sonoma already has too much of that. And I don't think that the restaurant industry here, who's been struggling to get by in COVID-19, would welcome the competition of even higher end dining that would siphon off some of their business. I would support this if it allowed lower income people to make money, sort of akin to street vendors, and it allows people with strong home skills to turn that into income. However, in Sonoma, Sonoma has perhaps displaced a large number of the people who might possibly benefit from this as lower income home kitchens. So I think in the balance, I would not support opting in with this for the city, especially in light of neighborhoods not liking Picasso, vacation rentals, bed and breakfast. This seems just like another kind of Trojan horse of the end of actual neighborhoods. But at the same time, urban living has got all kind of nodes and mixed uses that are happening on different street corners. So if you're going to allow this, then why not allow a general store on every corner too? Then you could start to get a real dynamic urban neighborhood here. But I don't know really what to say about this. I'm tuned in here, and I might as well throw my 2 cents while I'm here. So thanks very much.
Thank you, Fred.
Hello, Madam Mayor and council members, and thank you so much for your time. My name is Roya, and I'm the Policy Director at Food Gnome, FoodNome is a registered internet food service intermediary on a mission to promote food entrepreneurship by empowering chefs and home cooks to legally and safely sell food from their home kitchens. Our organization has actively supported over 100 chefs, the majority of whom are women and people of color, through obtaining their MECO permits throughout California, and have seen the incredible positive impacts of the MECO program firsthand. MECOs are an incredible tool for economic development and especially economic recovery and empowerment during these unprecedented times. MECOs create an inclusive pathway that empowers entrepreneurs to generate income while providing flexibility for those who need to work from home, such as caretakers. Additionally, MECOs increase consumer access to diverse, healthy local foods and create stronger community ties. I would like to address a few points for those opposing these permits on the grounds of nuisance concerns. In over 2 years of operation, with more than 100 home cooks permitted and more than 100,000 meals sold in Riverside County, there have been 0 reported food safety complaints, grease complaints, or noise and traffic complaints. Prior to receiving a permit, MECO operators are required to obtain food manager training certification and must submit a plan for grease disposal to the health department as a part of their standard operating procedures. Considering the widespread number of individuals who are already operating illegally in the shadows on social media sites such as Facebook and Instagram, a formal MECO program will protect public health by creating clear, tailored regulations and training. Additionally, chefs that work through our organization are provided with further education and a platform that assists with managing hours of operation and minimizing any neighborhood impact. We look forward to hopefully working with the Sonoma community to provide education and outreach for this program. We urge you to vote yes to empower home kitchen entrepreneurs and to indicate your support to the county to opt in and implement the state's MECO law. Thank you.
I just was wondering if everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, you can speak.
Wonderful, thank you. So my name is Vivienne Bokefar, and I'm here to advocate for Sonoma to opt in to the micro enterprise home kitchen operation law. Prior to moving to Sonoma County, I was a private chef and a culinary instructor. And for the last 3 years, I have devoted myself to building a chef's garden, growing just about everything I use in the kitchen. And since I've been listening to the comments from the very beginning of this session, I just want to add that my garden is, I use only solar, very minimal amount of water. I use no-till methods to capture carbon. So I'm trying to do all the right things. When the pandemic hit, many elderly friends were terrified to go grocery shopping. So I found myself delivering veggies from my garden to them, and this way providing healthy foods to a really vulnerable population. This effort continued all year, and I grew into the idea of starting a small farm. And the farm became official last December. I'm the only one working on the farm. It's a 1/4 acre, and I right now feed about 12 families with this farm. So the problem with that is it's very hard to make a living being a very small farmer, which I am. And I cover my costs, but I have not been paid for my labor yet. MECO would give me a chance to cook with the vegetables that, I grow and offer these products to my customers and possibly to farmers market. I have a license to sell to farmers market too. So it would make the farm viable for me. I would be able to think about continuing this long term. I will say that MECO would be perfect for me. It would help me make the farm sustainable, and it would help me bring healthy prepared foods to my fellow Sonoma residents. I see this as a win-win, not just for small farmers and home-based producers like me, but also for our community, which is so aligned with the farm-to-table movement. So I sincerely hope you consider adopting this law, and I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, I do have a couple of follow-up questions to assist me should this opt-in provision occur. It follows along the lines first of Councilmember Felder's question to Christine, and it's along the lines of, it's a hypothetical, but it could be in reality what happens based on a couple things. Number one is I do know that some cities have responded to the county. I know in the case of Sebastopol that they have just sent an email this evening. And I know Carrie well, she has shared the same land use concerns. But if, Christine, all of the cities say no, you shouldn't opt in, is the county likely to go along with it? Or is it likely to say, okay, we're going to take our authority and do it because we can? And the reason I ask it that way is such that the county would then be in the land use business. And I am kind of curious to know of your experience, Christine, if in these other counties that have opted in, what has been the jurisdiction's comments in this regard and how were they handled? Thank you. And then I have a follow-up question.
So, it's interesting that you pose this question because originally when AB 626 was written, it was written in such a way that if a city were to opt in, then the county would have to administer the program. So it was kind of written the other way. And then 377 came out and kind of changed it this way. So I do understand your concern, and that I can say that I think the environment, I think everybody is very supportive of providing opportunity, and they see the positives that can come from this program. But I think also there have been people that have expressed concerns with the program. As far as which way our board goes, I don't really know. But what I can say is the board has asked for us to do a presentation showing, all the different options and different comments on that, instead of going like straightforward with an ordinance. So they are looking at all the comments and want to review everything.
And would the county be in a position, Christine, to have an over-concentration policy or a total number within a jurisdiction? Could you exact that in your local ordinance?
Unfortunately, the way this law is written, you cannot specify that.
Okay, and then as a follow-up, the county would then, with the opt-in provision, be regulating land use control in the effect that if a noise issue comes up or too much parking, too much traffic impacts relative to the single family or the multifamily zoning or the residential area, let's say, that would behoove the county to do that? Or would that be pick up the phones to David and say, David, get your code enforcement guys out to any particular address?
Yeah, so the way this is written, it really, like you said, some of the building zoning codes, we don't have the authority to write in like use permit restrictions and such. But the one thing we do have is nuisance. And nuisance, so public or private nuisance, is handled by the local jurisdiction. So yes, it would be a call to a local jurisdiction about a public nuisance. We would definitely be there to assist and help in that situation, but yes, it would go to the local jurisdiction.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Storer. I'd like to bring it back to the city. Are there no more public comments, right? So I'd like to bring it back to the council for any questions or comments regarding this.
I have one question, and forgive me if this was in the staff report or if this was already discussed, but has any other city in Sonoma County weighed in on this yet?
I have received comments from Windsor, Sebastopol, Rohnert Park, and Cotati. at this point.
And when you say you've received comments, have they passed like a resolution supporting or opposing, or have they just offered comments?
They've just offered comments in a letter.
Would you like to share those with us?
I can share some of their comments with you. What I do want to say though is the original letter went out from Cheryl Bratton.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'm copied on all of them or not. I don't know if there's more letters that have come in, you know, this evening and that.
Right.
So
I was just curious
based on
how other counties, yeah.
I can give you that information.
Great.
So as David shared earlier, you know, everybody really seems to be supportive of the efforts and really wanting to give these economic opportunities and that, but they have expressed concerns with building and fire code compliance, concerns that residential buildings are not equipped like a commercial building, and that so sharing concerns with ADA compliance, safe escape routes, fire suppression, grease traps, food storage, building accessibility and such. And then also the land use impacts, nuisance, such as hours of operation, parking, odors, noise, and increased traffic with deliveries. And then the enforcement concerns that David brought up earlier. I'm looking kind of across the board, the comments seem to be very similar.
Right.
Those neighborhood disruptions, things like that. And then also impacts on current restaurant owners, businesses that are recovering from COVID right now, and really trying to help those existing businesses get going.
Yeah.
Also.
I truly appreciate that, Christine. So no city has sent in a letter or resolution strongly supporting this with no reservation.
I have not received one.
Right.
But like I said, I'm not the primary recipient, so I do not know what has come in directly to Cheryl.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Christine. Anyone else from the council?
Madam Mayor,
Thank you so much.
Just one quick comment, and Christine can tell us if this will suffice or not, but as she had mentioned, the due date is today, and we're still on today, best that I can tell, and Christine is here that can pass on our comments. I don't know that we necessarily need to adopt a resolution, but you could orally share your comments and they could be forwarded on to Cheryl. Is that okay, Christine?
I could do that. I think Cheryl did request them in writing. I could always pass along the comments and have you follow up, maybe in writing.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, this is a new thing. Right now, we just collected information. Listen, so it's really, really difficult, you know, the situation to say the yes or no. We just tell you, you know, what do we think. From my view, and I focus on the food safety issue, you know, because Mr. Peter Ballock already mentioned, and they have a little bit of data during the past 2 years, and no any complaint for the food safety. However, and this kind of thing, you know, any day will happen. So we can take this opportunity and set up some guidelines and requirement, and we can make the references with the sort of food truck or the a daycare, those kind of, and physical and check, and for health purpose. So I think it is a good time for us and to, bring the light on this kind of the gray area. And then as to the restaurant concept, I cannot easily accept, especially in our small town in the Sonoma here. And that is my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, in looking at this from 30,000 feet or whatever, I am really opposed to something that dictates a behavior or an ordinance that gives up local control, especially when it comes to land use. And the idea that in this small town we would have the ability for people in residential neighborhoods to provide on-site food service with unlimited hours, and the only protection we would have is that if it gets out of hand and there's a little bit of a noise problem, we can send out a code enforcement officer who is already stretched to his limit to try to take care of other things in this town. And I think it's going to be a total disaster for Sonoma to participate in a program like this, because it just takes away any concept of any local control and passes it on to Big Brother, who seems to know better. I don't see it working here in the city of Sonoma, and I am opposed to it.
Kelso?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I strongly support the comments of Vice Mayor Ding and Councilman Felder. When I first heard about this concept and idea, I thought, oh, well, there might be some merit there, to support small businesses and local entrepreneurs. And I know in our own small town during the pandemic, we had a local resident start a sourdough company in her home and sells it through Facebook, and I thought that there was some merit there. But as I further learned about this proposed ordinance, I realized there are extremely negative issues associated with it, and I do not support it, and I hope Sonoma County would not opt into this. As Councilman Felder said, I think local control is very important when it comes to issues like this. Obviously, the City Council and the City of Sonoma as a municipal corporation, we have police power, and that relates to zoning. Obviously, Councilman Felder and I used to be on the Planning Commission when a restaurant applied for a use permit and wanted to open. We really studied the issues. There's a parking formula per number of seats, and to think that you could just open up restaurants in residential neighborhoods that were operated by the county would just completely go in opposition to the whole spirit of zoning. And I think zoning creates a semblance of order, and I think without order, there is chaos. And I think in this situation, I think that's what I think a good idea, supporting small entrepreneurs, could have some very serious unintended consequences. I don't think we have any real world data that supports. I know that I understand that other counties throughout the state have already opted in, and for example, Riverside County has been doing this for 2 years. Well, we've had a pandemic for almost a year and a half, and so I don't think we really have, in a real world condition, we know what a ordinance like this would look like. Most of the comments we've received in support of this are people that probably stand to benefit from this ordinance and are not from Sonoma. I also worry, as other cities in Sonoma County have expressed, about the potential impacts on our local restaurants, which are the lifeblood of this community. And, the fact that they obviously have to get use permits, and they are brick and mortar, and they have to go through all these different regulatory schemes when, and it would just sort of provide a level of competition for them. I'm all for competition, but I think it, we have to have a fair playing field, and I worry that there would be unintended, as I said, consequences with this. And so ultimately, I strongly oppose this proposed ordinance as designed by the state legislature and as offered by Sonoma County, and I would hope the rest of the council would, whether it's a letter or a resolution, send a strongly worded letter to our supervisors in Santa Rosa, encouraging them not to opt into this.
Well, thank you all. Thank you all very much. I think it's important that we all weighed in, and it says take no official position on MECOs, or number 2, council discretion. I feel that I'm hearing, or should we vote on that? I'm hearing not to opt in, to opt out, I mean. Is that what I'm hearing basically?
Can we just stay here and no any vote? Just make the comments.
Well, I would be happy to vote.
Yes.
I feel very, very strongly on this that we send a message as to where we are with this city council, and I believe that we are in a position that we definitely want to opt out. And I don't want to just send a few comments saying, oh, think about it. I would like them to know that this goes against the very fabric of our town and the way we are organized and the way we have land use. And so I would be very much in favor of voting.
At this point, I totally agree with Councilman Feldo, but mine focus on the food safety. So this is good and a chance, good opportunity for us regulate the food safety issue because I know this kind of business has been existent for years and years and years. Nobody care. Then nobody, send them any education material, any requirements, and even if they earn the money, how they report their taxes. Nobody knows. So that right now, if we can set up any, thing, because at the beginning maybe it's not very complete, and we have a simple guideline, and for them, and then gradually we can improve little by little in the future. But what I'm saying, it doesn't mean I support this, but it's hard to say. From the food security, public security issues, I like to see this kind of regulation happen.
Well, I probably will have to seek some assistance from the city. A comment regarding food safety could go in with our opt-out. I don't know. Our city attorney would have to share that. I think just saying opt-out says all of that. And Mr. Walter?
Well, it depends on whether you want to explain why you're taking the action that you're taking. And it sounds to me like there's enough articulation of those reasons from the council members that that message is being conveyed as you speak right now. And David Storr, if you direct him to do so, can memorialize those comments in a formal letter to the county explaining the council's rationale.
And Councilmember Barnett?
Yeah, I just had a follow-up question. Perhaps our planning director or the representative of the county can follow up. But to address Vice Mayor Ding, I believe the state has a cottage food law that allows a lot of these sort of home-based operations. Like if you want to make bread at your home and sell it, that requires sanitary procedures, and I think the difference here is this allows, from what I understand, in-room dining in homes, and could create sort of impacts on residential neighborhoods that are different than this sort of cottage food law. Because if that's all it was, the cottage food law already exists, and I would totally support that, and there are public health and sanitary regulations associated with that.
So are you comfortable with that, Jack?
Yes, if like this one, yeah, I understand. If we can find another the way to protect our safety.
So I'm hearing, so Mr. Walter, are you hearing anything? I guess what you're saying, this already exists, the cottage food law.
Yeah, I
Is
mean,
that
I'm just
right?
sort of looking at it online, and perhaps some of our experts on Zoom could help me here, but I believe there already is a provision for home-based food businesses to comply with health and safety standards that do not allow
Certain
restaurant
practices?
uses. Right.
So does that help you in any way, Jack?
Yes,
Okay.
it's very helpful.
Yes,
Cottage food law, one difference between the cottage food law and this, there are two differences. But the primary one is the cottage food law does not allow for in-home dining and that, but it also limits the type of product you can produce. So it limits your product to things like bread, and pastries and such that can be left at room temperature out in the open and are what we call non-potentially hazardous foods. The micro enterprise home kitchen allows you to cook full restaurant meals, which have potentially hazardous foods. You have your meats and everything that you're preparing. So food and temperature control is a larger issue with a micro enterprise facility than it would be with a cottage food.
Thank you,
facility.
Christine. So Jack, it looks like,
It's clear.
All right, so I think what I'm hearing is we have do you want to have a voice vote? Is that how you feel comfortable, Bob?
Do you want to make a motion, or?
Do we need it? We don't need a motion, do we? They're just asking us for our opinion.
But you want to make sure that the staff, I take it, follows up with some sort of writing to the county.
Okay.
Confirming what you've been speaking
All right,
tonight
then
about, I
okay,
would
could I have
think.
a motion, please?
I would
Thank
like to make sure that we're taking an official position, not just providing comment. So I would like to make a motion that we take the position to opt out of the MECO law as it applies to this county without reservation.
Could I have a second?
I second.
May I have a vote?
Vice Mayor Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Felder,
Aye.
Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion
Thank you
carries
all. Thank you,
unanimously.
Christine, and thank you, Mr. Storer. So at this time, I'd like to take a break before we go on to the next issue.
Yeah.
Oh, yes? Oh,
Oh, okay.
what happened? Did he hear us?
Oh, I was just saying thank you and goodbye. I'll bring that
Thank you,
message back
Christine.
to the county.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a break.
Just a quick announcement as people go on to break, council. We're having electrical issues in the building, so there's some portable lights in the lobby which are plugged in because the plugs still work. There are no lights in the restrooms, so I've got restrooms closed signs on there. But if someone needs to use the restroom, bring a light because there's no light in there.
Like a torch or something? The city council meeting. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much. I've never gone into a dark bathroom. That was that was sort of an experience because I don't have my cell phone, so I don't have a flashlight. So I said like a prayer to St. Anthony because I was a traveler, and I made it. I came back. Thank you. So on to 5.2. I'm going to discussion consideration. Okay. Discussion, consideration, and possible action to adopt a resolution approving a special event on the plaza celebrating Mexican Independence Day. Independence Day on September 19th and finding the event categorically exempt under the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, pursuant to Section 15323 of the state CEQA guidelines, normal operations of facilities for public gatherings, planning community services director / acting city manager. Recommendation, adopt the resolution. So at this point, I've announced the item and I'd like to turn it over to our planning director, Mr. David Storer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members. This resolution is before you tonight to celebrate Mexican Independence Day on the 19th of September on the plaza. It is there because last Wednesday, the Community Services and Environment Commission, the CSEC, took an action to actually deny the application. It was a 2-2-1 vote, meaning that there were 2 votes for, 2 against, and 1 abstention, meaning that effectively the application was denied. We're now within the 15-day appeal period of that action, which ends on August 26th. And we've received 1 appeal to date. That was submitted by Councilmember Barnett. Other members of the community, including the applicant, may also choose to appeal the CSEC denial. And upon the close of the appeal period, the mayor and city manager would need to schedule the appeal before the city council as soon as they could. The problem is the first city council meeting where the appeal could be scheduled after a 10-day public notification would be September the 8th. But that would be a problem because the applicant has communicated to staff that the event would need to be canceled if it was not approved shortly. They need obviously adequate time to coordinate the festivities with the multiple parties and vendors that are involved. The item, as I mentioned, is an action for the city council tonight to approve the celebration or special event of Mexican Independence Day. It is not a discussion or a review of an appeal, as the appeal period, as I mentioned, is not ended. An appeal would be heard by the city council at a later time once we know how many appeals have actually been filed. At that appeal meeting, members of the community can share their concerns about the action taken by the CSEC. At this point, staff recommends approval of the resolution to authorize the special event of Mexican Independence Day. And this concludes, Madam Mayor, the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Storer. So I'd like to, at this point, call for any questions from the City Council. Councilmember Felder.
Mr. Storer, could you explain to me the sequence of a resolution, an appeal, and all the other things? If we were to go ahead and to make a resolution to approve this event, could that cannot be appealed, correct? Because it's coming from City Council.
That is correct, sir.
What would happen to any other appeal that would come in during the period?
They would be rendered. Those appeals could be heard.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, David. Apologize for stepping in, but they would be rendered academic and moot.
Okay.
This council's action tonight will take care of this issue. And if there are some appeals that dribble in, we'll just tell those people that the council has made its decision. If it doesn't like that, it can take the council to court. That's its next level of relief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walter. No? No questions. All right. At this point, I'd like to see if we have any public comments.
Sandra Lowe, Whitebriar Drive. I went and looked at the meeting to see kind of what the concern was, because we've historically had this celebration in Sonoma, and it seemed to be a lot of concern about, you know, COVID, which is realistic, but I think we've had bigger events since, you know, recently, and it doesn't seem fair to single this one event out. I would love to be able to be there to help celebrate with them. So I hope you agree to approve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other? None from? If no one else here would like to have a comment on this, I'll close the public comment here. Is there anyone online?
There's no one that's raised their hand yet, Madam Mayor.
Okay.
If you want to give them just like 20 seconds because
Yes,
of that delay that we
I think
deal
we should
with.
wait.
So
Thank you. No? All right, thank you. I'm closing the public comment section and now bring it back to the council.
Can I go, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
Read, here, yes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Yes and no.
I also want to thank Planning Director Storer for that excellent distillation of what happened. As he mentioned, I did appeal this, and as he said, it was really only about timing. Once the appeal, and it was really important to get it on this agenda, because as he said, if it was heard in September, it would really effectively cancel the event. And as our public commenter, Sandra Lowe, discussed, really the primary issue of concern was COVID, and commissioners felt that it was irresponsible to hold large-scale events, and it was, as Planning Director said, it was a 2-2-1 vote, and it didn't move forward because there were a couple commissioners that just didn't feel comfortable approving that event, and I totally respect that. And obviously COVID is something to be taken very seriously. The reason why I appealed it was, as I stated, because I think COVID policy should probably be decided by the City Council. And my personal opinion is that, you know, these are complicated issues that change from day to day. And speaking just from myself, but I assume for all of us, none of us are epidemiologists. And I think we really need to rely on our county public health officer to give us guidance and directives on whether large-scale gatherings can take place or not. You know, we still have farmers markets every week. We just had our city party. Obviously, these large-scale events, people should take precautions for what they are comfortable with, but I didn't feel it was right to effectively cancel Mexican Independence Day without at least the council weighing in on it and discussing how we feel about COVID policy. And I think it's up to us whether we want to go further than the county health officer. That's up to us. But in my view, I wouldn't want to do that because that would require us to sort of analyze data that I don't think any of us are, quite frankly, capable of. And you know, we need to trust our county health officer. I mean, obviously there are communities around the country that don't trust their county health officer on the opposite end, you know, not wanting to wear masks, not wanting to sort of comply with their regulations, and I don't think that's right when that happens. And I think in this case, I don't think it's necessarily appropriate to go beyond what the county health officer says. That is her job, and I think she does her job well. And so I would prefer to move forward and adopt this resolution approving Mexican Independence Day. And in my view, this isn't just a, you know, event on the plaza. As the staff report says, we have 4 heritage events: the 4th of July, the Vintage Festival, the Bear Flag Celebration, and Mexican Independence Day. And I think it really, you know, before we decide to cancel this event, I just thought it was appropriate for the council to weigh in on that.
Yes, I watched back that meeting, at least a portion concerning these events. And to put it in proper perspective, there were three events on being considered for during that meeting. And 2 of the 3 events were approved, having stated the same concern about COVID, but because they didn't occur within 5 weeks of that meeting, that seemed to be a legitimate reason to approve them. And yet, the staff reminded that commission that we are adhering to the county and the state guidelines concerning events and the size of the events, and we have never deviated by becoming more restrictive than what the county and the state have said. And that being said, it was also stated by the applicant that if indeed something changed between now and the event, where the county or the state imposed a more severe requirement, that they would indeed cancel the event. So it seems like we were singling out one event out of the 3 just because of its close proximity, that there could be some uncertainty about a surge that may or may not materialize. And so for me, it seems prudent for us to adhere to county and state guidelines, to let the event continue unless something else changes, and it has not changed yet. So I would be in support of it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Ding.
I totally agree with both Council Barnett and Council Felder. Also, I reviewed the meeting, and each commissioner make a very serious comments, analysis. Just like take this kind of event tomorrow when it happens. Basically, just everything is uncertainty. Just like Council and Felder mentioned, if we compliant with our county health and officers, we just move forward. And to be honest, last time we experienced city the party, that is wonderful. We can see a lot of the positive and respond. And also we are residents, we are the local people. We deserve have some good time and to celebrate, and based on scientific foundation. Thank you. I support.
Thank you very much. It's for me, it's interesting. Where I come from, San Mateo County, I was on the city council there and was one of the people who promoted issues regarding DUIs. And what we did with the police departments in San Mateo County was we had to recognize where people drank. Was it a bar, a wedding, restaurants? And so it told you where they drank too much and why they had a DUI. I'm not a scientist, but it's interesting. We just had the city party, and I just wonder if there would have been an uptick and people would say, I was at the city party, or at other parties that have taken place since then. It would be nice. Possibly, with respect to science, it's impossible to do, but it certainly would have helped people who have to make these kind of decisions. So I agree with my colleagues. We are following the guidelines that are prescribed for us, so I'm fine with that. So I think at this point there are no other questions. I'll open this up for public comments. Is anyone here? Oh, we are? We're done. Oh, God. Okay. Thanks a lot. I can't breathe. I'm not getting any oxygen with my mask. Jeez. Sorry. Okay. So the public comments closed already. Thank you.
Can I prepare the motion?
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
I prepare the motion to approve for the resolution approving a special event on Plaza celebrating Mexican Independence Day on September 19, 2021.
A second.
Could I add something? I think that they have offered if there is an issue, I guess, dealing with the uptick in numbers or something, possibly they said that they would volunteer to remove their event from the schedule. So at this point, I agree with the council, and so if we could have a roll call, please. We have a motion?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Vice Mayor Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Felder,
Yes.
Mayor Agramonte.
Aye,
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
thank you. All right, so we're going on to the consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be acted upon by a single motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless members of the council, staff, or public request specific items to be removed for separate action. At this time, council may decide to change the order of the agenda. Anyone wishing to pull anything or change the order?
Can I pull 6.3?
Does anyone else? Okay. Anyone else want to pull anything? No? Okay. So at that point, I guess we can just go ahead and approve the remaining numbers, or we have to go through.
Go to public, please, for comments.
Oh, thank you. I'm taking out public comment. Or if anybody would like to weigh in on the items.
We do have Fred Olabach raising his hand, Mayor Agramonte.
All right. Okay, so we'll hear Fred.
Yes, I would like to pull 6.5 and 6.6, please.
5 and 6. Okay. So I think at this point, I'm losing my papers. We can go through, could I have a motion to approve others, and then we'll talk about the ones we pulled.
I move that we approve items 6.1, 6.2, 6.4, and 6.7, 6.8.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
And roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Felder,
Aye.
Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The
Thank
motion
you.
carries
So
unanimously.
we're going back to public comments. We'll start with 6.3.
My comment or public comment?
Council, I'm sorry, council.
Okay. I just wanted to pull this real quick just to ask a couple questions, and I thought of, Councilman Felder used to be on the Vintage House Board. At one point I wanted to sort of look at all of our city leases to sort of talk about as a council how we handle these, and now we're sort of getting locked into these leases. And I guess my first question, and perhaps staff or even perhaps you could, this lease wasn't going to expire until 2042, and I was curious why the need to renew it, or what was the sort of driving factor?
The driving factor was there's a major capital improvement program scheduled to redo the patio, and with making a significant investment, they wanted some assurance that they would be able to use the facility for a sufficient term. The existing lease was for 55 years. It's just a renewal done a little bit early to extend for 55.
Okay. And so the Vintage House, they're raising those monies privately and putting the money into the building. Is the city contributing anything to that patio project? Okay.
No.
We do support them.
Right, annually.
And that project has been approved by the council already, but they were holding back till the lease was approved.
Okay.
Just curiosity, what is the difference in the consequence if in a longer lease or in a shorter lease? And 25 years and 55 years in this case. Out in the city, does our city want to take additional responsibility or nonprofit?
No. In fact, by renewing this lease, it ended up being a more complete document than what was originally produced, and certainly more thorough. But it gives the Vintage House the ability to say that they can justify this expenditure of a significant amount of money on a project, knowing that they will have a lease over that entire period.
Right now, under our lease, the Vintage House will take care of the day-to-day maintenance and the improvements.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. How about, by the way, how about the Marcy House? Similar situation, right?
Marcy House is not connected with Vintage House in any way. It's run through the Historical Society.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think what the Vice Mayor was saying and what I sort of agree with, and perhaps it sounds like this lease has been improved, and maybe we can use that as a baseline going forward, but I've just heard sort of anecdotally that some of these leases are different, you know, from building to nonprofit, and it'd be great if we had some sort of cohesive, consistent strategy as we approach our leases with our city buildings and nonprofits. And so I was reluctant to do this just because I don't want to get locked into these leases. I'm not opposed to it at all. I just, but it sounds like it's the right step.
So, Mr. Walter, can we take this one item, or should we do all three and then to approve or not approve?
It's up to you. I think maybe doing it item by item is better
right,
and cleaner,
thank you.
so the public knows exactly what
All right.
we're talking about.
And I think, yes. And so I'm opening up to public comment right now. Is there anyone from the audience who would like to discuss 6.3 with respect to the lease agreement with the Vintage House? Is there anyone on Zoom? All right, I'm closing the public comments. Could I have a motion on 6.3, please?
I move that we approve item 6.3, authorizing the resolution for extending the lease for Vintage House.
I second.
Thank you. Could I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Felder,
Aye.
Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Going back to 6.5. Regarding, we're talking about the purchase. Is this the one Fred brought up?
It is.
Okay, thank you. Fred?
Yes, I pulled this just out of curiosity. I'm just curious about the city budget. It's my understanding that and I could be wrong, that police and fire are allocated, you know, a certain portion of the city budget, which in aggregate is about half of the city budget or maybe more. So I was wondering if this purchase here is on top of that, or is this part of that? I don't recall seeing like the police department require authorization to buy police vehicles. So in no way am I disputing the need or desire for a new fire engine. I was just curious about how it's funded and why this was a line item as far or separate from the overall fire budget. That's all my question was.
So I guess,
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
would you like me to respond to that, or would you like Assistant City Manager Sue Casey to respond to that?
well, whatever you choose is fine with me.
So I was just going to say that the fire district has typically, I mean, we were a JPA, so that different from the county, where the county would approve all the purchases, but because we were a JPA special district, that's why the board approves purchases by the fire district. Do you want to add to that, Chief?
Yes, thank you. So as part of our contract with the city, and this started again 20 years ago as a JPA, the city and the fire district have maintained separate responsibilities for their capital assets and the replacement of those capital assets. And so when we look at replacement of an ambulance, which is a city-owned asset, it is something that was included with the 21-22 budget, and it is, it's just something that is our standard practice. The city is responsible for the replacement of its capital assets. And just as a side note, all of the EMS revenues that are generated within the fire district as well as neighboring districts on any ambulance response, all of those EMS revenues come back directly to the city. They do not go to the fire district, they go to the city. So this purchase of a new ambulance is part of our well-established vehicle replacement program and schedule, and it is something that is budgeted for and has the funding in there to be able to support this. And happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you so much. So what is the council? Do you have any? Nothing? Okay, I'll take it out to the public. Thank you.
We have Tom Conlon.
You do? Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Agramonte. I appreciate the opportunity to comment here, and thank you to Chief Aker for bringing this matter before the council. I don't have particular concerns with this particular purchase agreement. However, I do urgently think we need to have a plan for when city vehicles will be transitioning to non-fossil fuel power. And I realize that ambulances and fire engines are large pieces of capital equipment. They do have limited life. But we also know that we're potentially going to see over the next, maybe even the life of this vehicle, that its last years might be stranded in the sense that they will be, there'll be better models out there that could be purchased that would be lower impact and maybe higher performance as well. So I just would like to see these kinds of applications as they come forward placed in some kind of context as to whether these investments are sound over the entire life of the vehicle, particularly with respect to Governor Newsom's plan to phase out all light-duty vehicles for sale after 2035. Thank you for consideration of my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Conlon. So I'm going to close the public comments, and what we're doing here, if we approve it, it is recommending approving a resolution, which is here. So if whoever would like to make a motion for this resolution, you can read by title.
Madam Mayor, may I add a quick comment in response to Mr. Conlon's comments?
Absolutely.
So, Mr. Conlon, I really appreciate those comments. I too share your desire to be as energy efficient and as at the forefront of energy sustainability as possible. In the fire service, we're monitoring this very closely. Unfortunately, right now, we do not have other options for the purchase of a very desperately needed replacement for this ambulance. But please rest assured that we are keeping tabs on this. We are just starting to see in the fire service some opportunities in research and development for heavy duty fire apparatus that do use battery power. So we are keeping tabs on that, and we will explore any of those reasonable opportunities that we can in the future. So thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Well, as I said earlier, thank you. As I said earlier, we are going to, a motion to approve this would mean that you read it's a resolution. And this is 6.5.
All right, let me do that. I prepare the motion for an approved resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchasing agreement for the new 2022 Ford E450 custom type 3 ambulance.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, you busted your button.
I second.
Okay, could I have a roll call, please?
Vice Mayor Dean,
Aye.
Councilmember Barnett,
Aye.
Councilmember Felder,
Aye.
Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Now on to 6.6. Let's see. Letters of support for AB 14 and SB 4. Do we have any comments from the city council regarding this or questions?
No, any
Oh, I know.
comment. Yeah, that is very important because at the federal level, and we have some the regulations, and states we didn't have, so we should support AB 14 and AB 4, SB 4.
That sounds good. Thank you. Anyone else? No, any comment from the council? None? Okay, I'd like to take it out to the public.
You've got Fred on the line.
Fred, thank you. Hi,
Yes,
Fred.
I pulled this item because I recalled that Councilmember Ding listed this broadband infrastructure as one of his council priorities and goals. And so I was curious that since this is aimed at unserved and underserved communities, if there's any intention or any plans or any local movement to use this particular movement towards supporting these bills with the digital divide in the Springs, and if the city doesn't have jurisdiction of the Springs, I'm just curious if there's any kind of plans in mind of how the city would collaborate with the county to address the digital divide here in the Valley. And principally, just wanted to ask Jack for an update on his goals here.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else with any questions, comments? No? So, is there, okay.
Close.
Okay, we'll close public comments. Is there an answer for Fred regarding?
Yes. I want to
Oh,
answer
all right.
some. All right. Thank you so much, Fred. You're a good question. And yes, that is I have an idea to set up a free and a Wi-Fi and within the city and also in the Springs area. And with a reference of another city in the Bay Area, for example, in San Leandro, San Mateos, many cities, and city of San Francisco. During the past 5 years, they already find another channel to gather the federal fund to build up the free and Wi-Fi for the local residents. And it is very, very important in our city and the Springs area. So usually we always concerned social equity, and this is a bigger project. We can connect each other. We can share this free service. This kind of free service is definitely possible, and right now under the federal and the CARES Act, we have the specific fund with this. Even before that, and the federal each year also they have this kind of fund. We have the two technical supporters. They are the experts for the free and the Wi-Fi and the setup and how to apply for the grants, how to deal with the government, and the city manager already has started work on this project. Even Dave Kiff already and set up the relationship with those experts. Next week, when our city manager Toyin come back, and he will work on the detail and then move forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor Ding. I think at this point, we've gone out to the public. Jack, you've made your comments. So I would like, I think, could I ask for a motion on this? I don't know what to do. Could I have a motion on this? You approve?
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I can prepare the motion. Authorize the mayor to send a letter of support for the AB 14, SB 4, which would prioritize the development of the broadband infrastructure in unserved and underserved communities throughout California, throughout the ongoing collection of California Advanced Services Fund and a surcharge.
Thank you. May I have a second? Then we can move on.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Vice Mayor Ding,
Aye.
Councilmember Barnett,
Oh, he has he's.
Aye.
Councilmember Felder,
Aye.
Mayor Agramonte.
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries unanimously.
Okay, council, number 7.1, committee reports. Are there any committee reports regarding annual assignments?
I don't have any reports, but I would just like the public to know on August 25th, the Sonoma Valley Citizens Advisory Commission will be discussing the Victory Station proposal, specifically relating to the Amazon Distribution Center down on Highway 121 in Shelville. And so if anyone is interested, that will be on Zoom August 25th at 6:30 p.m.
I have no reports for you. Jack, do you have any? None? All right, we'll move on. And city manager?
No comments.
None? Okay. And city attorney?
No comments tonight, thank you.
So I just wanted to actually say I have dedicated this meeting to Jeffrey J. Sturr. Thank you. And Jack?
Yeah, I forgot. Let me report some update. Contact with the bronze and the medalists and the family. They are very happy. They said, oh, they were some right now. They are traveling in Europe for those kind of sponsors, some advertised commercials. They haven't decided any date to come back to Sonoma yet, Glen Allen yet. Yeah, they want to give us an update. I already connected the city manager to the Leslie. They are the Glen Allen and the Fair Market.
Okay.
They were connected. They were working on. Also, this is a good chance, to celebrate.
Well, thank you so much. At this point, unless there's any other comments, before I adjourn, we might have to take a look at this Zoom in-person meetings. I think it's causing some issues for us and for the people of Sonoma. So that's something that we have to maybe we can have a discussion about. And when is our next meeting? It's September?
It is September 7th.
Okay,
It's a
because we're
Wednesday.
gonna have to make some decisions before that. I don't know how anyone else feels, but I think we need to decide what we're gonna do as we move forward. Thank you, meeting is adjourned.